everyone. It is a lovely Wednesday. I almost forgot what day it was again. It is a lovely Wednesday here in Boston. I am loving June, the wonderful June weather out here. It is 76 degrees, not too hot. It's that time of year here in Boston in the New England area where it's not too hot yet. It starts to get too hot and humid, like July and August. You don't want to be outside. You got to stay inside in the air conditioning. But I love this time, May and June. You can go outside, short sleeves, I like to wear a nice sundress or shorts or whatever it is. And yeah, just really enjoy the weather. Yes, I do wear other things other than this gray hoodie, but this is like my work outfit. It's like my work uniform. It's super comfy. And so I know you probably find it funny, like when I wear other stuff besides the gray hoodie, like, oh wow, she has other clothes. I like to keep things simple. My wardrobe actually isn't that much, but I like to wear different colors as well. See, we like to play with color, our lovely, our sunburnt orange, and I'm not sure what the yellow one is. The two chairs over there, so two of my favorite chairs in the house. Anyway, what I want to do today is continue to share some client success stories, some client case studies to inspire you, to explain some of the transformations that we've helped our clients to achieve so that you can really get a more clear picture of what I'm talking about when I'm saying transform your career as a technical manager. Give you some really specific, tangible stories that these are the maps, these are the roads that other people have followed that you too absolutely can follow. These are mere humans that we work with. They are not, they are not member of some strange unknown superhero clan, that have powers that are, that have powers that are not known to you. They're just like you. They had challenges just like you do, and they chose to overcome them. So the story that I want to share today is of our client, Stephen, who essentially, if I were to wrap up his story in one sentence, he went from technical lead to director of engineering in just about 7 months. And in that process, when he got the promotion to director, he also was able to negotiate a 100% work from home arrangement so that he can travel the world, because that's really what his dream is. And the end of the story is, last I heard, he was in South America doing a wonderful job as director of engineering for a US-based company. But he's living the dream. He's living the dream. And it wasn't easy, though, for him to get there, right? If it were easy, everybody would be doing this, living lives of abundance and freedom and traveling the world and having more money than you can ever think of and having more love and joy and passion in your life, really finding your purpose. Not everybody does that. It's because it's not easy to do. But like I talked about, it takes tapping into that grit, tapping into that commitment, that perseverance, and that's what it is. And for a lot of people, it means reaching out for help and saying, what I've been doing hasn't been working. If I could have figured it out on my own, but I haven't. So clearly, I am not, I'm not an expert here in upgrading my own career. And the other thing is too, like, even if you are a career coach, right, which, I know that most of you probably aren't, but even if you are an expert in upgrading your own career, we have, or an expert in upgrading careers in general, we have our own blind spots. We can't see them. We need others to help us see those own blind spots. And so what Stephen's story was essentially where he started was about 2 years ago, a little bit over 2 years ago at this point. He was a relative newcomer to the tech leadership world. Like, he isn't someone, a lot of our clients come in and, they have 5, 10, 15 years of experience. He kind of just started. And he started out as a software engineer, as a senior software engineer, and then had moved up to being a tech lead. And then very quickly was promoted to an engineering manager after he became a tech lead. And the way that it actually happened in this case was his boss came to us. His boss was the then director of engineering. And at that point, this person, the then director, knew that she was going to be leaving and transitioning out to another company and was kind of preparing for that transition. There was going to be a leadership hole there. And her and the leadership team decided that we want Stephen to fill this hole as manager. And so he was the best person for the job, but she basically said he doesn't have a lot of experience. He needs to build his leadership skills. He needs to build his communication skills to really connect with people. And if that doesn't happen, the company's going to suffer. But we know he can do it, and we know that you can help. And so when this kind of thing happens, it's actually not the usual way that we end up working with clients. It's usually that the client comes directly to us. The manager, the person who wants the career transformation, comes directly to us and says, yeah, I want an expert in my corner to achieve career transformation. In this case, it was not the person, it was not the client, it was somebody who said, we want this person to get help. So in those cases, we say, okay, great, but I need to talk with Stephen. I need to know that he's absolutely committed to doing this, and that, like, first of all, he agrees with you. And then second of all, he's absolutely committed to doing this for himself, not just because you told him to, not just because the company is gonna, benefit from it, although that can be a great motivation. He needs to say, I'm ready to do this and I need to do this. And so we did. We talked with Stephen, and first of all, he absolutely agreed with his manager. Like, yeah, I want to be a leader, but I know that I'm still new at this. I know that, sometimes I can come off as immature because I'm still new at this. I don't know how to have those hard conversations that involve hiring, that involve firing, that involve telling an employee, you're not performing up to par, and if we don't fix this, you're going to be under a performance improvement plan. Like, having those hard conversations without coming off as a jerk, as someone who doesn't care, and having those conversations are not easy to do. So he needed that help. And so, and he was absolutely committed. He was like, yeah, I know that a lot of what I've been doing leadership-wise has not been working. I know that I've been rubbing people the wrong way. I know that I can come off as pushy sometimes because I just don't know any other way to do it. I don't know any other way to influence, which is a huge piece of being a wonderful, awesome leader. But he was like, I don't know how to influence except by being pushy and aggressive. But what I do know is there a better way. What I do know is that there is a better way. And I'm absolutely committed to fixing that and learning a new way, not just so that I can help the company that I'm working for achieve their goals, but so that I can achieve my own goals as well. And so we got really clear on that before we started working together. Because look, I wasn't going to work with Stephen, like I said, if it was just, oh, they told me to. Yep, the company's hiring a coach for me. Wonderful. Okay, what do you got? Okay, I'll do it, right? Because you told me to. No, that's not going to work. That's not how we achieve transformation. That's probably how a lot of you, by the way, approach trainings. So those trainings that end up in your calendar, mandatory training, Friday at 2, HR mandated. And you go to the training, okay, you told me to. And what do you get out of those meetings when it's like, okay, you don't really want to be there? So I wasn't going to work with Stephen unless he was like, there's a bigger reason why for me. And his bigger reason why was because eventually he wanted to start his own company. And so that the only way that he knew he was going to be able to do that was by learning the leadership ropes and working for another company and learning from other people's mistakes, learning from the failures of other leaders so he didn't have to learn them, right? And so that he didn't have to fail. So he knew that. So that was his big why. And then we also learned that another one of his big whys is he wanted to travel the world. But he had this sort of, I don't know if this is possible. I don't know if this is possible in the back of his head. because essentially he wanted to be 100% work from home, 100% remote. But he heard from a lot of people and started believing it. Oh, I can't be a technical leader. I can't be a senior technical leader if I'm 100% remote. That's not possible. I need to be in the room. I need to be right there with them. But I challenged him on those beliefs, because we've worked with clients and we have friends, and I know lots of awesome technical leaders in general, who are 100% remote. We run our company, we run the People Stack 100% remote. We work with technical managers, technical leaders from all around the country. And most of them, actually 95% of them, we've never met in person. And we're going to change that. We're planning on having some retreats and things like that in the future. So for those of you who are clients, will become clients, make sure you ask us about that, because we do want to get that personal touch, that in-person connection. But look, there's so many people that run companies and are wonderful, awesome leaders, and you're 100% remote. Guess what? We have these things called Zoom. We have these things called Slack. We have this thing called a telephone. Right? Where you can absolutely make connections. Is it harder? Yeah, because you really have to know how to communicate and establish rapport with people when you can't give that person a hug, when you can't give that person a high five. When that's missing, you really have to work to connect with people. And that's part of what we worked with Stephen on. So he had a really strong why. He was in it. He was in this to win it. He was ready to take extreme ownership over his career. So much so that even though his company offered to partially reimburse him for the investment in working with us, he said, no, I'm doing it. I'm doing it all on my own. I'm going to cover the investment 100% on my own. Because this is about owning my career and my own ability to be the best leader possible. And so essentially we worked with him on, we worked with Stephen on a number of things. Including having a really clear plan to upgrade his career so that he could leverage what he's doing now to eventually start his own company. We worked with him on communication skills, really showing up, yes, with certainty, but also with compassion as well, to make sure, because this is one of his number one goals, right? To make sure that he wasn't being pushy, so that it wasn't being overly aggressive, and really listened. We worked on active listening, impactful listening, all of these things that were going to be extremely important to Stephen to reach his career goals. So it's all custom tailored. Sometimes people say, well, what does it look like? And, what kind of skills am I going to build? It's all custom tailored. It depends on what your goals are. It depends on what your dream is. And we give you everything that you need in order to get there, if it ends up being a fit to work together, and if you decide that you want to invest. And so it's all custom tailored. And at the end of the day, Stephen did end up getting the promotion to manager, and then eventually to director as well. And he did that, the tech team lead to manager to director, in just about 7 months or so. Because his company really trusted him, and they saw his potential. They saw that from the get-go. That's why they were like, yeah, we want you to help, and we're willing to invest in his future because we see it. But we don't want him to go astray. And we didn't. We kept him on track to be the compassionate leader that we all knew that he was capable of being. And so that's why in this particular case, it was able to happen so quickly, because yes, it was absolutely about Stephen and what he was able to do and how he showed up. Yes, it was absolutely about having us as experts in his corner to accelerate the process and give him the strategies and systems and support to get there. In this particular case, he had the backing and the support of senior leadership at his company as well. Like, go Stephen, go, we want to see you do this. So that's one of these cases why it happened relatively quickly in this case, but it happened. And he was able to be the leader that he knows he's capable of being. And oh yeah, by the way, now he's working 100% remote because he proved to them, he demonstrated, I can do this. You can trust me. I will show up. Even when, and especially when, I'm not in the office. And so because we gave him the systems, and he said, I have a system to do this, and this is how I'm going to make this work, and this is how I'm going to set expectations, and this is how I'm going to do this and that, and run one-on-ones, and this is how I'm going to, have conversations and do everything that's necessary, and inspire, and lead, and motivate. This is how I'm going to do all of this. he wouldn't have been able to do that if he was doing it all on his own. He certainly wouldn't have been able to do it so quickly. So look, if you are oozing with determination, just like Stephen is, if you are oozing with commitment, but maybe right now there's a little bit of doubt. There's a little bit of, I'm not really sure if this is possible. And that's normal, right? When we get excited about something, our brain steps in and goes, hang on a second, I don't know, is this actually possible? It's just the way that it works. And it helps us to say, okay, you got to pay attention here. Pay attention. Is this possible? And then it's your job to say, yeah, it absolutely is. And the way that I reduce the risk, the way that I actually get this done is by getting the help that I know that I need, by having experts in my corner so that I don't have to fumble my way through this, but can give me the strategies, the plan, the custom tailored support that I know that I need in order to reach my career goals and in order to really live my dream career in my dream life. So if this is what you want for your career, if you want to follow in Stephen's footsteps, because really that's the only difference between Stephen and you right now. Because I know you're determined, I know you're committed, and I know you're struggling. I know there's something in your career that you want more of and you're not getting it, and that's why you're here right now. The only difference between Stephen and you at this point in time in your life, only difference, he reached out for help, he booked a call with the team. So that's what you need to do. So you book a call with our team, thepeoplestack.com/book/BOOK. And we'll talk about what's not working in your career right now, where you want to go, what's your dream, and the exact next steps to get there. We're going to map out a custom tailored plan. What are the specific actions that you need to take in order to get there? And if you want us as experts in your corner, if you want us as your expert guides on this wonderful, fabulous, eye-opening, challenging path to a career transformation, then we'll talk about what that expert guidance, what that expert advice and support would look like. We'll talk about all the details, including the investment. But that's the next step for you. That's the one piece that you're missing, is call and help. thepeoplestack.com/book. If Stephen can do it, if he can go from team lead to engineering manager to director of engineering in 7 months, why can't you do something similar? You can be our next case study that is going to inspire the next crop of technical leaders to finally claim their dream careers. So go ahead and book that call today, thepeoplestack.com/book. So that is it for today. And then on Friday for the next couple, so we'll do, as you probably know, we have a little bit of a cadence here. We do these Wednesdays, I do them Wednesdays and Fridays. I do these lives Wednesdays and Fridays. So for the next couple, so this Friday and then next Wednesday as well, I'll be sharing even more case studies, client stories of transformation. I talked about Lucy last Friday. So if you haven't watched the video or read the story about Lucy, definitely check that one out. I released that one last Friday. And then for the next couple, like I said, Friday and next Wednesday, I'll be giving you more stories so that you can really connect with them and see yourself in these wonderful, badass clients that we've had the privilege and the honor to work with. So that is it for the day. Enjoy the weather, whatever it is where you are. Make sure you get outside, get into nature. That's from one of the shows that my son watches. It's a show about like nature and animals and things like that. So get outside, get into nature, be the best leader you could possibly be, and I'll catch you next time on Friday. Take care, everyone.